Hey guys, in this video, we're going to take a walk down memory lane and look at every single Hulk minifig and big fig that's ever been released. And because there are not that many, we'll go ahead and look at She-Hulk, Red She-Hulk, and Red Hulk as well. Now, everything kicks off in 2012 with the very first wave of Avengers sets, and it goes all the way through to 2023, where we've got the Hulk in the Avengers Tower. So there's a lot of history to get into, so sit back and relax. Be sure to hit like and subscribe down below if you haven't already, and be sure to Hulk smash that like button down below. So everything kicks off in 2012 with the very first wave of Avengers sets that were tied in with the first Avengers movie. This was one of the first ever LEGO Big Figs in general, and certainly the first in the LEGO Marvel lineup. I think it's aged pretty well, and I do think it's a really great Hulk all these years later. And one thing people commented on is like, why didn't he have the purple pants? Well, Hulk didn't wear purple pants in the first Avengers movie, especially not the helicarrier breakout scene, which is what this one is based off of, so it is accurate to the movie, although we would have to wait just a little bit longer to get a Big Fig Hulk that actually had the iconic purple pants. And hey, since there's no time like the present, be sure to check out the LEGO Kiss set that my friend Brody and I designed. You can support it on LEGO Ideas now, and if it gets 10,000 supporters, LEGO may actually make this into a real set. So we'd love your support, and be sure to check out the link down below to support LEGO Kiss. If you could settle for a minifig, though, you wouldn't have to wait very long to get some version of Hulk with purple pants, because this minifig scale version actually came out as a gift with purchase from LEGO the same summer that the Avengers set launched. So you can see, you can twist it around, and he has a really angry face on one side, and then just kind of like an angry snarl on the other side. I have a nostalgic spot for this figure because I think it's really, really awesome, but I know a lot of people only like Hulk when he's a big fig. However, I like when he's minifig scale because then he can like fit in the Quinjet and fit in buildings with the other Avengers, and sometimes when you're taking photos and videos, having him at this scale is just more convenient. Although I would admit that this is probably the worst Hulk at this scale, I do think it's a nostalgic figure still, and it's pretty rad all these years later. So we didn't get a Hulk figure in 2013, but in 2014, he came roaring back onto the scene in the Hulk Lab Smash set, and we did finally get him with the purple pants. Now, looking at him side by side with the 2012, you can see it is the exact same figure, same molding and everything, except he has a different facial expression, and of course, he has those iconic purple pants straight from the comic books this time around. The other thing to notice is some Hulks will have toe printing, so, well, actually, like, toe molding. You can see that it's actually, like, molded into the feet that he has toes, but you'll notice that some Hulks don't have that. So I'm curious if you guys like the toe notching or if you prefer them to be printed on, but either way, let me know in the comments. 2015 brought us Age of Ultron, and there were actually 2 sets that came with Hulk that year, so definitely a cool thing for that. And he did get leg printing this time, the first time leg printing has ever been given to a Big Fig Hulk. And of course, you can see he's got the Avengers A on one side and just some detailed printing on the other. And Hulk now switches to an olive green color rather than the vibrant green we've gotten on the last 2. Just because I think it's funny to note, I actually along the way picked up a misprint of this figure, and you'll notice that on the misprint, they didn't print the side of his leg that has the Avengers A on it, so it's just kind of interesting to have a misprint of something this big. That same summer in 2015, Toys R Us did an exclusive poly bag that you could only get there, and you could see that this one had dual molded legs, and it had a lot of nice printing on there too with the Avengers A, and of course the head is reversible too. I do think that this figure is far superior to the 2012 one we looked at just a bit ago, and this is probably my favorite minifig scale Hulk to date, to be honest with you. Hulk made another appearance in 2016 in the Mighty Micros line, which was a short-lived sub-theme for LEGO Marvel, where you got these basically like little bumper car go-kart builds and these super cartoonized superheroes. This is definitely my least favorite Hulk that has ever been made, but he is a worthy inclusion on the list, so here he is with the Mighty Micros Hulk. 2017 brought us a very interesting version of Hulk. This version is the only one to get green hair, and he also has a very unique skin tone here that's like a very vibrant green, almost more akin to She-Hulk than regular Hulk, and he has these really interesting lime-colored pants. Maybe they're not lime. Maybe more lavender. I'm not really sure what color I'd call that, but this is definitely the angriest facial expression we've gotten for Hulk to date, and you'll notice that they went back to the toe notches in there versus the printed toes that were on the Age of Ultron Hulk we'd gotten 2 years previous. I did mention that we'd take a look at the Hulk variants, and this, of course, is a Red Hulk, one of his most iconic villains from the comics, and I think it's interesting because you got both of these Hulks in the same set, and the main Hulk has the notches for molding in the toes, and the new one doesn't have that at all, so it's pretty interesting that that's the way it shakes out. But I do like Red Hulk a lot. He's got kind of the spiky hair. That's actually reused from the Age of Ultron Hulk from a couple years before. And overall, it is really nice with those angry yellow eyes and the black pants. But yeah, it's pretty crazy. This is the only Red Hulk we've ever gotten. In that same set, we got Red She-Hulk and She-Hulk. Both of these are exclusive to this set, and we wouldn't get another She-Hulk for years later until the 2023 LEGO Marvel Collectible Minifigure Series 2 line. Now, both are really interesting, particularly She-Hulk because she got dual-molded legs with white boots on bottom and green legs up top with printing and hip printing, and both of these ladies actually have reversible heads to show more angry expressions. So I do think that both of these are great, and it's interesting that they both had a resurgence in 2023 because, again, we got our next She-Hulk minifig based off the MCU in 2023, and we got the Disney Plus Lego Avengers Code Red movie where Red She-Hulk was a pretty prominent character. So kind of interesting how all things come back around, isn't it? 2017 brought us Thor Ragnarok, which also brought us Gladiator Hulk. This figure was absolutely awesome with the uniquely molded arm with the big blue shoulder armor piece there, and we got torso printing on Hulk for the very first time. In fact, it's only the second time it will happen in the entire Hulk lineup here, so be noted of that. And it's the only time Hulk has ever had headgear to date, so that's pretty interesting. He does have black legs here. Once again, he's got torso printing, and this will be the final time that Hulk has the notched feet. From here on out, they're all the blocky feet, but yeah, a lot of people would cite this as their favorite Hulk Big Fig. I like it quite a bit, but I don't know if it's quite my favorite. That one's still coming up. In 2017, for Thor Ragnarok, we also got our first ever LEGO Bruce Banner. This exact same figure would be reused the next year in 2018 for Avengers Infinity War in the Hulkbuster set. And if we turn the head around, oops, looks like the whole head turned around with it. He's got angry green eyes on the back, which is just such a great nod to note that this is the Bruce Banner that is having a little trouble turning back into the Hulk. And yeah, it's not really super accurate to either movie, but this torso has been great for making customs, and the head isn't so bad either, so it's definitely a good one. Avengers Endgame was a great movie, but when it came to LEGO minifigs, man, it was really rough because we just got a bunch of minifigs in their quantum suits, but interestingly, Hulk did not come in his quantum suit. He had these blue pants that actually have a little bit of black printing detailing on them. And yeah, I do think that this figure has aged pretty well. It's just a good standard Hulk with those blue pants, but it's kind of a shame that Endgame came and went and we never actually got a Professor Hulk. At this point, I really don't know if we're ever going to get that, but man, if it wouldn't be awesome to get one. In 2020, they randomly dropped one more Avengers Endgame set, which really came out of nowhere, and in more ways than one, because the scene in the set didn't actually happen in the movie at all. This gave us Hulk in his quantum suit, which was definitely nice to finally get. Although I have to admit, it's not like the most crazy figure ever, but it is nice that we did get all of the Avengers in their quantum suits to be able to line them up side by side as a team. Also in 2020, in a 4+ set, we got this Hulk, which was the olive green color scheme, and then we went back to a shade of purple pants. In fact, the shade of purple pants are pretty similar to that one from 2017, but it's a really nice figure overall, and I would say that this is probably my favorite Hulk Big Fig, just because to me it's the perfect balance of comics and MCU between the pants color and the skin tone. It's not actually based off of anything specific, which is nice, but I really do like it all these years later. In 2022, for Spidey and his amazing friends, we got a minifig scale Hulk, which is our first one ever to get dual molded legs, which give you green on bottom and purple on top. He also has a reversible head, but because this Hulk is in a set that's aimed at the 4+ demographic, I think they wanted to, purposefully not make him look too angry, so it's very cartoonish, and it was nice to get those dual molded legs, but this is a pretty bad Hulk figure, to be honest. Now, 2023 has been a banner year for Hulk. See what I did there? The first figure we got was at the beginning of the year in the updated Hulkbuster, which is the Bruce Banner from Infinity War. Like I said, the original one wasn't really all that accurate to Infinity War, but the new one definitely is. I think the head looks quite a bit like Mark Ruffalo, the torso looks great, and when we flip it around, you can see he's got like veins coming out of the temples of his head, and he's got the green shadow around his green eyes, and overall, this is just such a great figure that really ties together Mark Ruffalo's legacy as the Hulk. We also got this Hulk, which isn't based off of anything specific, but is probably more akin to the comics than anything, and we reused those dual-molded purple and green legs, which are really nice, and this came in the Hulk mech set, interestingly enough. You can see he's got an angry face, and if you look on the face there, he's actually got some stubble, so he's got a little bit of a beard growing out, and he actually has a little bit of chest hair there as well, which I do think looks really good and adds a lot of detail to the figure. And finally, we have the CMF series, She-Hulk, which of course is based off of the Disney Plus series, and this is a really great figure. I do wish it was a little bit taller, because when you put her next to a regular minifig, they're the same height, and, you know, she should be taller than everybody else, but where that falls short, everything else exceeds. She's got the dual-molded arms with green on bottom, white up top, and the dual-molded legs with white on bottom, black on top, with some green accenting in there to help pull it all together. She does use that same green hairpiece from years ago. Nice to see it make a return after all these years. And we can flip it around so that we've got the Jen Walter smirk on one side, and then we've got a big grin on the other. Definitely a great one. And finally, in 2023, with the Avengers Tower that was $500, we get the Big Fig Hulk that has studs on the back, but most notably, he has a turnable head. It fits on the joint pretty tightly, and we can lift it off, and you can actually see that, like, you could technically put a minifig head on this, and you could put the Hulk head on a minifig. That's very cursed, but technically it is within the LEGO possibilities to be able to do that. But the biggest complaint I have with this figure is that the hair is very, very easy to knock off. There's not a lot of clutch power to it, so it definitely shouldn't be played with by kids more so than just displayed by adults. But overall, it is very awesome to finally have a Hulk that can have a turnable head, and I think that that opens a lot of cool opportunity for the future of, you know, different Hulks that we could get. He has these kind of like gray legs as far as the pants go, and once again, he does not have the toe notches. It's just kind of the regular block feet, and with that, that brings us to our final Hulk. So let's zoom out and wrap up this video. Alright guys, let me know which Hulk is your favorite, and I'd love to know how many of these Hulks you personally have in your collection. If you haven't already, don't forget to Hulk smash that like button down below, and I'll see you guys on the next video.